was at the forefront of the Secretary and the President's mind, and that's what they received.
Of course, we have to talk about Israel because I have a notion Israel will not be pleased.
Yeah, they definitely will not. I think they wanted to take a harsher approach because of certainly the worded messages coming out of Iran about, especially from some of the spiritual leaders, wanting the destruction of Israel. But again, this is an attempt at looking at a political solution before you go to war. And I think there were a lot of people who had their fingers on a hairline trigger that wanted to attack these facilities. But truthfully, from a military perspective, that would have been challenging as well. You certainly could have attacked some. Israel could do some of them alone. But with the extent of the capability of Iran, remember, Carol, Iran is twice the size of the state of Texas. It has a lot of mountain ranges. It has a lot of hidden facilities. So the potential for opening up for inspection is much greater than attempting to bomb all the facilities throughout that country.
All right, Lieutenant General Mark Hertling, thanks so much. I want to go back to Washington and Salman Sarfati. Any word from Republicans as of yet?
No word yet. You know, the big question as of now, Carol, is what Congress will do when they get back from their month-long summer recess from August. The leadership in the House and Senate intend to move on this, but we don't know the deadline. We do know that there is a partial deadline for them on September 17th. That's when it's a statutory deadline where they have to make some sort of movement on. But the big question will be, will senators get to actually cast a vote up or down for this deal? There are many that are divided over this issue. Notable that Senator Coons from Delaware, who came out in support of this deal yesterday, he did say that he believes that this deal should get an up or down vote. He said he thinks it's important for senators to go on the record. So that was the next fight. The administration, again, needs to secure 6 more votes, reach that new magic number 41 to get enough support to prevent that from even happening. Carol.
All right, Salman Sarfati reporting live from Washington. And again, if you're just joining us, there has been a major victory for President Obama this morning. Democratic Senator Barbara Mikulski, she's from Maryland, she announced support for the Iran nuclear deal that provides the White House the votes it needs to prevent Republicans from scuttling this agreement. The announcement means at least 34 senators, the number required by the Constitution, would uphold a presidential veto of a Republican resolution to disapprove of the deal. Now, we haven't gotten Republican reaction quite yet, but as you know, many Republicans are vehemently against this deal, saying it will endanger Israel and ultimately the United States. On the phone right now, I have David Rothkopf, the CEO and editor of Foreign Policy Magazine. David, welcome.
Nice to be here.
Nice to have you here. First off, just your reaction to President Obama's victory today.
Well, I think the handwriting was on the wall. These votes were there. I didn't think that there was much chance that the opposition would prevail, and I think everybody needs to start coming to grips with the fact that this deal is going to be a reality.
Tell us more about this deal, because so many people are worried about it, especially Israel.
Well, look, I mean, this is a deal that is going to stop the progress that Iran was making on its nuclear program. It's going to reverse the progress that they were making on their nuclear program. Many people prior to this deal felt Iran was months away from a nuclear weapon. At the worst, we know that they are now a decade or a decade and a half away from a nuclear weapon. But the secret of the deal and the way it's ultimately going to be measured by history is, are we going to enforce it, and are the Iranians going to honor it? And so getting a vote, getting the deal through is just the beginning of what's going to be a long, difficult haul to make this into something that is meaningful and ultimately contributes to the stability of the region.
All right, David, stick around. I want to go to Philadelphia and check in with Elise Lavitch. She covers the State Department for CNN. Secretary of State John Kerry's just talking to Christiane Amanpour. He must be relieved today.
Well, I think the word he used was delighted. And, you know, he said we were getting messages that Senator Mikulski signed off on the deal. And he said to me, you know what that means? That means 34. And so obviously a very good day, but officials even coming up here, Carol, said they're not taking any vote for granted just because senators and congressmen say they're going to vote for the deal. We still don't know what's going to happen when they actually cast their vote. So they said they're going to be fighting for every vote. And what Secretary wants to do today, you've heard him do many interviews with myself, with Jim Sciutto, with Chris John, with many people, Jake Tapper. Why is he coming here today? And so what he's saying is he wants to lay out correct some of what he calls misperceptions or myths about this deal, particularly about the fear that this could allow Iran to develop a nuclear weapon even while the deal is going on because of the inspections regime. Basically, what I think he's going to lay out today is to say there is no way that Iran will be able to master all of the elements of a fuel cycle and develop a nuclear weapon outside of international inspections, and kind of lay out the science of the deal, and hoping that the American people will see that this is the kind of deal that will be safe for America and safe for the world.
All right, Elise Labott, stand by. I want to bring in Peter Beinart. He's a